Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the One Nil Show, aka the home of football vibes. And what a special video we've got coming to you right now. Take a look at the tasty little menu we have. We've got Fruities 5, and through the Fruities 5, I'm going to be giving you my 5 best transfers that's happened this summer. Okay, it's been a crazy transfer window, as we know, but have the big ones been the best ones? So tune in to find out that. Then we're going to go through, I'm going to grade every single Premier League team's transfer window. So if you're a Liverpool fan, is it the transfer window that you really wanted? Tune in to see how I think your transfer window worked. Man United fans, was it the ideal transfer? I know it's crazy scenes. And then last but not least, we've got to get to Fruities Fantasy. Obviously, no Premier League football this weekend, but Ronaldo comes into your fantasy team. So I'm going to give you 3 best wildcard teams that you need to fit Cristiano Ronaldo in. So it's a tasty show. If you do enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm going to see you on the other side of the intro. Deuces. Oh, that's right. How about that for a little tradition? Bit of Matt does fitness there. So before we do start, if you don't subscribe, Cristiano Ronaldo, my good mate, told me he's going to come to your house, grab you by the ear, shove it in the toilet, turn the toilet on, flush it around, and so your head goes spinning. I know it's crazy scenes here, and yes, I'm wearing a headband. Don't hate me. I'm just trying to live my life. Cristiano Ronaldo's got me going around the house saying "see" every 2 seconds. That's right. So it's good energy, good vibes here for his 5. Like I said, if you do enjoy, please subscribe, please like. It takes 2 seconds and it helps the channel like a madness. Okay, so we're on Fruities 5 best transfer windows of the window. What a transfer window it has been! Crazy transfer window. Who would have thought in the same transfer window you would see Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo move clubs? And in that same window, when those 2 transfers happened, Arsenal was the team that spent the most money. Let's take a moment to laugh at Arsenal. Thank you. Awkward silence. Now, first but not the worst. Okay, I've gone for this one was very hard to go from the non-obvious ones. So this one you could claim maybe a bit obvious, but to start off with, I'm going to go for maybe one that sort of slipped under the radar, and that's Donnarumma to PSG. Donnarumma was the player of the tournament at the Euros, winning it with Italy. He's going to PSG on a free. He's still very young. He could possibly be a 10-year goalkeeper at PSG. He could be that Buffon. Some would say he's already going to be a Buffon. Like, that's without a doubt. Still 23, 24 years old. He's still so young. And to go to that PSG team where their main focus, obviously, is the Champions League. We could be seeing this Donnarumma, Italian goalkeeper, in the next 5 years with a few Champions Leagues to his name, which will really help solidify himself. I expect in the next 10 years, we're talking about Donnarumma the same way we're talking about, a Victor Valdez, a Iker Casillas, which is that's very tough. You have to earn your stripes to put your names next to the likes of Iker Casillas. So some would say Victor Valdez was a bit interesting. Don't forget what he did do. He was very good as well. So Donnarumma to PSG, but the biggest thing about that, it's a free transfer. And some would say loyalty has been a massive factor in football recently, okay, with this transfer window, which we'll touch on later on. Donnarumma didn't really show that. AC Milan, boyhood club, he grew up there, he did all his work there. Then he leaves on a free to PSG, a team where you can get a couple extra mil for because they're PSG. You can sell big money to that team, where he went for free. So I want to go and maybe say that's maybe the best transfer aside from the obvious ones that this season. So let me know in the comments below, out of the 5, which one is the number 1 best transfer. Number 2, I've gone for Cristiano Ronaldo to Manchester United. And it's, you can see it with the Rashford top in the back. I'm a United fan. If you didn't catch my last video, a bit of a reaction to the transfer. Holy moly. Cristiano Ronaldo is a Manchester United player. I don't believe it. I still don't believe it. I've never been, Messi and Ronaldo. I was always just through the middle. I was one of those boring people. Let's appreciate both, whatever. I was one of those people, like the ones that you don't invite to pies and stuff. I was one of those. I still am. But like, it's one of the best players, arguably the best player of all time, has returned to the club where he really established his name. And he really, I wouldn't say established, but he really made a name for himself to then go on and have such amazing growth. It's crazy to see. And the whole drama of him maybe going to City, how close was he to going to City? The whole drama just made, I remember sitting in bed, messaging the boys, just refreshing Fabrizio Romano's. This is the first time I've had notifications for Twitter because I just wanted to keep on seeing. I was shaking when the news was announced. Now, fantasies aside, what can he deliver to Manchester United? And is it going to be a huge, he's not, I don't think, it's a 36-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo. We have to remember that. Can he play every single cup game, every single Premier League game, every single Champions League game? Probably not. And I think we'd be dumb to let him do that because fortunately now we do have the depth for, if we do play against a lower team or a cup game, we can say, Cavani, jump in, start this game, Cristiano, stay on the bench. Okay, so now we can do that. We can have Greenwood playing through the middle, rotate Sancho to the right. We've still got Lingard on our books. We can even rotate Lingard to the side a bit as well. Rashford's obviously going to come back. There's Martial as well. So there's a lot of depth up there. So we don't have to rely on Ronaldo to play every single game, I hope. So it's a very good signing. I can see why fans would say it's not a good signing. He's not a 36-year-old. Okay, he scored over 100 goals at his time in Juventus, where a lot of people said he wasn't that great. Okay, yes, okay, it's a City blah blah blah. But let's not forget our comparisons that we do with Lukaku as well. Okay, because that was in the City as well. What he's going to do for the likes of Mason Greenwood, who at this point I'd consider him maybe undroppable. Once Rashford comes back, I'd go to Rashford and say, mate, earn your stripes, earn your position, because Greenwood's been our best player this season so far. Scored in every game. He has been tremendous. So right now you would assume Manchester United go with the front three of Ronaldo, Sancho on the right, Sancho on the left, and Greenwood on the right, which to me I love. Okay, Ronaldo's going to score a lot of goals near the goal. He's going to score a lot of goals in the box. We saw him today, the day of recording this. He broke the record for international goals. He scored 2 headers. That goal, that style of play, we're going to be seeing a lot. Whether it's Luke Shaw coming in from the left, whipping a ball in. Okay, if it's me, I play a 4-4-2. Cavani and Ronaldo up front, whip the ball in. Thanks for coming. That's all jokes. But Ronaldo to Manchester United fans, how do we still feel about that? And non-Manchester United fans, do you think it's all a bit of hype? It's Ronaldo. He's not actually going to be good. Okay. Next up, we're going to go Romelu Lukaku to Chelsea, which Chelsea looks scary, man. Chelsea look very, very scary. They've obviously signed Saul as well from Atletico Madrid just on the deadline day. Lukaku signs big. It's a big fee. It's a very big fee, but I think we saw a lot of people saying that, mate, Matip, Van Dijk pocketed Lukaku. I think the Chelsea game, the red card changed the game drastically. Chelsea parked the bus and defended, which was the right thing to do. You're going to Anfield. If you can walk away with a draw, I think anyone takes that, especially third game of the season. I think you do that. I think any team does that. So that meant that Lukaku was going to have to do more running. He's got to maybe receive the ball a little bit deeper than what he usually would if it was a normal scenario game. So I don't think we can really judge it on that Liverpool game, but then we know what he can do. We know what he can do. He was so good in the Serie A the last 2 seasons. He's come to a Chelsea team where Thomas Tuchel, I think, is arguably one of the most underrated coaches in the world right now, which is crazy because he just won a Champions League with them last year. But I think Lukaku's got to work very well. I know I had my opinions on it before, but Chelsea look very scary, man. They look very, very scary. And I know Reece James is injured, but I think we could see a couple of breakout seasons for the likes of a Reece James and even maybe a Mason Mount to even higher extents. Okay, so Lukaku, Chelsea fans, what are your thoughts on that? Does that deserve a spot in the top 5? Let me know. Next up, I'm going to go for a little bit one that maybe is a bit off-center, some would say. I've gone for Hakimi to PSG. Now, I'm not a crazy Serie A fan. I can't say I watch a lot of it. However, I'm a Matty Boy fan of the channel, friend of the channel. He was big on Hakimi, Inter Milan. He was one of the best players last year. The Conte system fitted in very well, obviously, with that sort of wing-back formation. And Hakimi was good. He put on good performances in the Champions League also. He was on Real Madrid's books before he moved to Inter Milan. So he's a very good player. I think this signing for PSG is tremendous because they got him at a good price. They did this very early on. I think people maybe forgot about this. I think Hakimi this season, assuming PSG have an extensive run in the Champions League, Hakimi will go down possibly as you are someone who's the best right back in the world. I think Hakimi's name comes up first. I think he's got that sort of season on his hands, which is why I'm saying Hakimi deserves a spot in the top 5 best transfers this season. Let me know in the comments below. Do you agree? And we're going to stick onto PSG because they did a lot of the business, didn't they? We already spoke about one GOAT of football. Now we're going to speak about another one. Lionel Messi signs for PSG. Oh my goodness. Crazy. Crazy. It's still hard to believe. He came on the other week. So weird seeing him in a non-Barcelona shirt. Unfortunately, Barcelona, they're in the mud. They're in the mud. They are so far in the mud. No, you could wear goggles and search for them. You can't see it. Like, they're in the mud. But it's a different story. Messi to PSG. And unfortunately, when that happened, people go, okay, there's only two clubs he could possibly go to. And I think a lot of people almost sort of already closed the other one, being Manchester City. So PSG always looked like that favourable place for Messi to go, because they're one of the few that could only afford him, as we saw. This is so, again, obviously it's so huge. You signed one of the best players of all time. Okay. Is he in his prime? No, but he's still got to give you 100% effort, 100% skill. Is there a lot of players who still aren't better than him? Same as Ronaldo? No. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yes. Yes. Okay, so it's a huge signing for them. He's got to play with the likes of Kylian Mbappe, reunites with Neymar. That PSG team is stacked. You've got Sergio Ramos in defense, who could almost deserve a spot in this froutys 5 best transfers of the season. So Messi to PSG, it's crazy stuff. If he can win a Champions League at PSG, it's insane. Not insane in the sense of he did it with such a difficult team, but to see him win a major trophy without Barcelona, it's just got to feel so weird. It's just got to feel so weird. So that's going to wrap us up for froutys 5. Let me know in the comments down below, which transfers do you think maybe deserve to be in this list? Which transfer do you think is the best transfer of the season? And which transfer do you think will be the biggest flop this season? Let me know down below. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got a bit of a tier list coming your way. First time for the channel. I'm going to be putting your favorite Premier League teams into one of the rankings, as you can see on the screen right now. We've got elite window, quality, I'd take it, poor, and shite. Absolute disaster. And if you think your team's got to end up in there, just stop watching. Actually, don't stop watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. So what we're going to do, first club underway. I want you to drop in the comments below where you think your team fits in this. I'm going to put them in, obviously, the correct category, but I'm going to try to order them as well to see which one actually wins. So first up, Arsenal. You're poor, man. You're poor. Arsenal Football Club have spent the most money in the same transfer. You've seen all the tweets, you've seen all the memes, in the same transfer window where Messi, Ronaldo, Varane, Sancho, Ramos, Donnarumma, Hakimi, Lukaku, same transfer window where all these players move. Arsenal spend the most, and they somehow don't look any good still. Ben White for 50 mil, Ramsdale for 30 mil. LUKAKU looks like a decent player for the future. Is that what they need now? Nope. Okay, so, it's poor. It's poor. And some would say, but they signed all these players, they have to be good, whatever. How is it poor? It's poor because they haven't improved. Yes, Ben White will be an improvement. At what cost? Okay. But everyone else, no one gets into their starting lineup. LUKAKU, I think, will be a decent player in the future. Nuno Tavares could be a decent player in the future as well. But you're playing that risk at a time where Arsenal can't afford to take those sort of risks. So Arsenal, I think, deserve to go into poor. Chelsea, I think we know where they got to go. Elite window. Signing Romelu Lukaku, top signing. Okay, Saul as well to strengthen that midfield. Supposedly Kante seems like he could be injured, so Saul could almost slot straight into there. Jorginho, Kovacic obviously might rotate with that Saul role. Chelsea, though, could you maybe say quality, because they did fail to sort of get Koundé. I know I'm being a little bit picky here, Chelsea fans, don't come at me, but maybe we could be a little bit picky and say they were heavy on Koundé. They probably do need to strengthen their centre-back positions a little bit more. They unfortunately missed out on Koundé when it did seem like he was ready to go. Chelsea were ready to go for him. But something just happened on that final day and didn't really work. But I think elite window, you're signing Romelu Lukaku, a top goal scorer. You're signing Saul, solid midfielder. You're getting rid of some players who you can sort of afford to get rid of, release some of the dead wood. I think Chelsea in elite window is quite suitable. Crystal Palace next. I'm going to put them in I'd take it. Okay, I think it was a decent transfer window for them. They signed the likes of Olise. They just signed the likes of Edouard, who, a lot of Aussie fans would have been watching the Celtic versus Rangers game, and Edouard looked terrible. It looked pretty bad. But they've been able to go and sign some good young players. Gallagher looked good as well, scoring 2 goals against West Ham last week for Palace. I think I'd take it. For Palace, you're not going to expect your big name signings, your big spending signings. But I think at the end of the day, you say, you know what, I'd take it. We've made some improvements. We can continue. We've got rid of like Townsend, those sorts of players where they're good players, but I think it was their time to move out and make some more room. Everton. Everton's an interesting one now. Everton's a very interesting one. I'm tempted to put Everton in. Oh, I don't know. It's a tough one. Everton fans, where do we put Everton? I'm going to put them in I take it because they didn't spend a lot of money, and we've seen their transfers in the recent sort of years being so heavily focused on big monies. Okay, and they've spent a lot of money. They signed James Rodriguez. They signed whatever. Okay, and they ended up not doing well. They've gone and signed Damari Gray for 1.85 mil, which could be like the biggest steal. Supposedly he's got some other issues outside of football, whatever, but we can't judge on that, allegedly. Okay, so I think that's why I put them in I take it, because I feel like they've strengthened as well. Townsend is a good signing. Just it's those sort of squad players, and they're very Rafa Benitez players, which is why I think Everton I take it. Obviously they've lost Sigurdsson, allegedly. Begovic as a sub goalkeeper as well. They definitely could have done more. They definitely could have strengthened a bit more. I think success this year is going to have a lot to play with their signings in the future as well. If they can maybe push for Europe, I think they can start to draw in some bigger players. Their signings, they're going to get a new stadium and all that in the next couple of years as well. But the better Everton do, I wouldn't surprise if Rafa Benitez can still be a bit of a draw card as well. So maybe they can strengthen the defense, for example. Aston Villa, interesting. I'll put them in I'd take it for now. However, I was tempted to put them in quality. I know what you're saying. Hold on, they lost their best player. Yes, they lost their best player in Jack Grealish. Actually, screw it. I'm putting Aston Villa in quality. Aston Villa's going in quality. They've sold their best player, Jack Grealish, for 100 million. 100 million. Jack Grealish goes. That is exactly what you want your club of like Aston Villa to do. They've had a player come up through the youth ranks, stay with them, get them to the Premier League. He's achieved the ultimate goal. They have then sold him for 100 million pounds. They've done that. With that 100 million, they couldn't have gone, let's go buy another 100 mil player. No, they knew they weren't going to be able to draw a 100 mil style type of player. So they went out. Danny Ings, great signing. Bailly, good signing. Okay. They've gone and bought Buendia, another great signing. Okay. Tuanzebe, even on loan, I think is a pretty good signing as well. So I'm going to put them in quality because the Jack Grealish, and they could have been a bit shifty here trying to get a couple extra mil. 100 mil on the release clause. Okay. That's ultimately what they want. 100 mil for a team like Villa can do very well for them. Whether these quality signings that they've made will push them up the ladder, maybe not. But I'm thinking purely on a business point of view, purely on a transfer point of view, I think Aston Villa deserve a bit more credit. Now, Liverpool going to poor. I know what you're saying. Maybe you don't need many transfers. What we saw last year was you don't have depth, you're going to get hurt. And I know it doesn't help when it's your best player getting injured, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. They made a good Konate for 36 mil, I think, is a steal. I think it's a great steal. I mean, we just said Ben White went to Arsenal for 50 mil. It's a bit of the English tax on that as well, though. But I think 36 mil for Konate is a brilliant deal. But that's it. That's all they did. And I think what makes it worse is other teams in their competition are significantly improving. Manchester United went and signed Cristiano Ronaldo. Okay, Man City went and signed Grealish and didn't lose anyone. Yeah, Chelsea went and signed Lukaku, a top goal scorer. Liverpool didn't do much. Could they have gone and signed maybe a striker? Did they need to bolster the midfield position as well? They haven't really done any of that. And I think Klopp, we mentioned a couple of times about the lack of funds, the lack of backing that he's maybe getting from the board, which is sad to see because he's done so much. And maybe they're taking that approach of you did it without big signings this time. You can still do it with the same team, which isn't too fair. But if you put in the grand scheme of things of how much and how more willing these other clubs in the same competition battle as Liverpool are willing to put money forward and willing to splash the cash and willing to improve, when Liverpool may be taking the back step and not signing many players at all, you could maybe be looking at, okay, are they falling behind the curve a little bit here? So it'll be interesting to see how they go. But purely on a transfer window basis, I think poor is a very fitting category for them. Now, Manchester United, if you sign the GOAT, there's only one place you can put him, and that's elite. Now, did they have a better window than Chelsea? Hell yeah, we did. If you sign the GOAT, that's it. I don't care if he's 50 years old. Okay, but I'll put my unbiased hat off. We needed a centre-back. We went and signed Raphael Varane. And the slander for Varane is atrocious. Okay, put some respect on his name. Huge player. Him and Ronaldo rekindled. It's a fantastic signing. He's a fantastic player. He was very good against Wolves as well. Even though we got dominated against Wolves, Varane was very solid. For so long, fans were crying out for a right midfielder or a left midfielder. Okay, Sancho last year actually did play left a lot for Dortmund, and his stats on the left are actually better than what they were when he's on his right. We went out, signed Sancho. We ended up getting for cheaper than what we previously wanted to. Two fantastic signings. Transfer deadline day, it was official that we signed Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, there's people saying, did they only sign him because Man City wanted him? Is this a sort of thing like, we can't let our rival get him, we need him? Is it a spur of the moment sort of thing? And even if it is, if you're going to do that with one of the best players of all time, so do it. If you've got to do it with the likes of Jamie Vardy, maybe not. If it's a Cristiano Ronaldo, hell yeah, man, do it. He offers so much more than just a striker position. He offers so much more. He can help Greenwood out. He can help Rashford. This morning against Portugal, he did nothing the whole game, but he was still able to somehow find 2 goals out of his back pocket to win Portugal the game. That's an elite player. One criticism that I do have for Manchester United, though, is the inability to sell a lot of our deadwood. Okay, Pereira is only on loan. It's on loan with the option to buy, but we're still paying a bit for it. Dan James, we just saw walk out of the club. Somehow we got 30 mil for Roadrunner, but okay, that's good. Especially with Ronaldo coming in, there was an abundance of attacking players there. Lingard is still in our books, and whether that means Lingard is in his plans to play, I'm glad we kind of kept Lingard. I don't want him sitting on the bench every week as Donny van de Beek does. We've still got Phil Jones, still got Eric Bailly. Okay, Diego Dalot has stayed. I think he's earned his role to stay. Who has Mata, Matic? There's still a lot of players who by now would think, okay, thank you for your service, but it's time to go. But we still have them. So that's really my main criticism for Manchester United this transfer window, because there's just the inability to really get rid of that dead wood. We could have made a lot more funds. If you could be looking at 10 mil for a Mata, 15 mil for Matic, possibly another 10, 15 for Pereira. Okay, just like that, they could all start to stack up. You could get another 10 mil. Lingard could have got a 30 mil for him or something like that. I think Phil Jones, we just couldn't sell him. No one wants him. So there is a lot of play. Dean Henderson, what's happening? I know he's injured, but what's happening with him as well? So I think we've got to have an abundance of players who are just going to be sitting out, which is a bit worrying in terms of team morale sort of thing. Are the players going to like it? What's going to happen? Could we, now we're really making the Mata and Matic deals, especially a year away, where we've probably got to get a lot less money for them. So, but at the end of the day, I think Manchester United top transfer window, and I think there wouldn't be too many disappointed Man United fans. Now we've got to go to Newcastle, and Newcastle, I'm putting it shite. Okay, once again, no backing. Joe Willock, okay, good. Very good signing, actually, to be honest. Very good. But they just need more. They need more. Norwich, I'm going to put them in I'd take it. Now, hear me out. They've signed, Solis, a good Greek player, young Greek player. Brandon Williams on loan. They've met Billy Gilmore on loan. It's almost like they've gone and played career mode and just signed all the young players for that. That the club's got to let them leave. And I think for Norwich, we have to put it in perspective a little bit. If Chelsea made those signings, we'd be saying, what the hell? But Norwich, I think they'd take it. Heading into the league, they've obviously been battered so far this season. But I think for Norwich, they'd be okay with that. Leicester, I'll put them in I'd take it. But unfortunately, I think injuries is what sort of makes a cloud for Leicester, because, Fofana was a big loss with injury. They did well to go and sign Vestergaard. So I think overall, Leicester have, they kept Maddison with rumours of him going to Arsenal. I think not bad. Southampton, I'm going to put them at the front of poor, because they lost some key players in Danny Ings and Vestergaard, which is huge losses for a team that's probably fighting relegation. However, they were able to go and get, Armstrong's a good little goal scorer. They were strengthened with Livramento, the fullback. They were able to get some nice young players for depth. So that's why I've got them at the start of poor. They really need depth, and they've been able to sort of go and get those. But are they players that are going to strive them up the ladder? Probably not. Tottenham, I'm going to put them I'm going to put them in quality, and hear me out. They've kept Harry Kane. And that's almost a new signing to an extent. It's almost a new signing on its own, if you know what I mean. So that can go there. Watford, they'll put in. I think we can put Watford in quality. They signed quite a few players, some good players as well. They've got rid of a couple lower players as well. Brentford, we can put in poor. Have they done enough to really keep them up? Maybe not. I had a good centre back to come in. Burnley, shite. Brighton, we can put in poor as well. Leeds, put in I take it. Reece James, Firpo, some needed positions there. West Ham, we can put in I take it. They did well near the end. Wolves will put in poor. Ronaldo Sanchez move could have happened on deadline day, but it didn't come through. And Manchester City, I'm going to put in quality. Yes, they signed Grealish. They missed out on Ronaldo if there was big truth to that. They missed out on Harry Kane. Tottenham bossed Manchester City and missed out on Harry Kane. So that's going to leave it how it is. I know I sort of skipped through nearly at the end because the camera is about to die, so I don't want to mess it all up. That's my rankings. Let me know in the comments down below. I'll move, Man City can go above there, above Villa. Tottenham can go there. We can fiddle it around as much as you want. Liverpool can maybe go there. But overall, that's my sort of guide. There's some interesting points, so make sure you do listen to my points and my reasons as to why I've put them there. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head into froutys fantasy, and with Ronaldo finally joining Manchester United in what is a crazy deal, everyone's fantasy team is just changing. Wildcard, are you going to use it this week? I personally still don't really know if I am. Okay, I really want to get Ronaldo in. I'm going okay, not that great for this season, but it's early days, so we'd continue to go on. Now, what I'm going to do is show you three template teams that you should have if you are going to use your wild card and if you are wanting to make sure to bring in Cristiano Ronaldo. So, first up on the screen, you can see here a 3-5-2 formation. Sanchez standard in goal. Good fixture there. Okay, ignore Everton. It's against Brentford, so they should do well there. The defense, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Luke Shaw. Yep. I've gone and put Reguilon in there. Now, Reguilon is someone that I've wanted to. He's been on the watch list for my team for quite some time now. Tottenham doing well, keeping good records and clean sheets. They've got Palace in the coming week, obviously with international football this weekend. I think Reguilon could be a bit of a shout. He's a little bit more expensive. You could get away with putting a 4.5 defender. Tanganga possibly an option, which we'll keep in mind for the future teams here. Tanganga could be an option, but they did just sign Emerson, the fullback, who could come in. Tanganga will be pretty stiff to get dropped because he's been playing very well, but Reguilon could be an option there. And I think if he can stay away from getting cards, he loves the cheeky yellow card. I think Reguilon could be a good little shout for a wild card week. Then we go into the midfield and quite stand. You've got Benrahma in there, Greenwood, who's I think will thrive with Ronaldo up front. Mo Salah as well, probably going to be the captain. Rafinha also there, and Ferran Torres. Now, Ferran Torres is the risky one because, as we know, it's Pep roulette. Who knows if he's got to start? I think for a wild card, I think Torres could be perfect. He's quite cheap, and to be his price, 7.1 million. As the striker of Manchester City, which has played the last 2 games, and Pep has come out and said how much he likes him playing in that position. Torres could be an absolute steal, but obviously out of position in here midfield. Torres could be someone who a lot of people are starting to bring in. There've been thousands and hundreds of thousands of people bringing Ferran Torres in to try and free up that space when getting rid of Bruno to bring in Cristiano Ronaldo. So I think Torres could be a good little shout for a wildcard week. And then as you can see, top 2, we've got Ronaldo and then Mikel and Tonio. So the front 2's got a lot of firepower. United are up against Newcastle at home. Okay, Ronaldo's first game. If they can't get up and about for that, I don't know how they. What's going to happen there? Okay, then you look at the bench. We've just got some cheap 4 million players, and as you can see in the bank, we've also got 0.6. So you've got a bit of room to work with there. Maybe you want to get rid of Reguilon, change that to a 4.5 defender. Maybe bring Luke Ayling. And then upgrade maybe a Benrahma and a Rafinha, maybe a Torres, someone like that. You could upgrade that somewhere elsewhere. Now we'll take a look into the second team, a 3-5-2 formation as well. And what we've got to go with is, and I mentioned Tanganga, and it's pretty much the exact same template, but the changing of 2 players. So it gives you a couple more options. We've got rid of Reguilon and we've brought in Tanganga. So Tanganga frees up about 0.6 mil. The risk here with Tanganga is he going to start? Okay. They have just signed Emerson, the fullback, as we mentioned previously. Is he going to come straight in for Tanganga? Tanganga's not a natural fullback. He's a right back, a centre back. Sorry. So will he just make the automatic shift? I hope not, because Tanganga's been playing actually very well. And then in the midfield, you can see we've ditched Ferran Torres, and we've gone for another risky player in Diego Jota, which a lot of people are favouring Jota, depending on what Firmino's status is. But there's a chance Jota doesn't start either. Okay, the bench stays the same. We've got Ayling on the bench who could come in, if you put him as your first sub, could come in for Diego Jota and then change it to a 4 in defence. But we'll take it from there. So the same sort of system there, but with Ben Rama, Antonio, Greenwood's in there as well. I think Greenwood is a huge player to have in. So I think that's another template. And then the next one, we've gone for a bit of a different style here. We've gone for a bit of a cheeky different one. We've gone through a 3-4-3, and I've got Christensen in defence. Chelsea been rock solid. Christensen should play. 5 mil could be an iffy one. This one is one that I wanted to have a bit more fun with. Okay, so Christensen could be the shout. We're like, okay, interesting. I wouldn't do it, but it could be a chance. So whether he does play, whether that sort of thing, I've made sure to have Tanganga and Duffy on the bench. I think Duffy could come in for Christensen also if you really need. But it's also, this template has given us a Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. So we've gone for 3 forwards now. Antonio, Ronaldo, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. Rafinha, Salah, Ben Rama, and Greenwood in the midfield. Some good mid-price powerhouses, obviously with Salah the star in there. Luke Shaw and Trent, just box standard defenders in there. And Christensen's the iffy one. Obviously, Gilmore, Tanganga, Duffy on the bench gives you a bit more diversity as well. So out of all the wildcards, and the wildcards are going to look the same, if I am to activate it for this week, which I'm still not totally sure on, I'm still not 100% on, but if I will, it won't be this week, and I'll be doing it late next week, just before the deadline. I'll be going with number 1. I think Reguilon, Ferran Torres. I think this one kind of sits well with me. Obviously, got to have Cristiano Ronaldo in there as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. You might be seeing this as a clip or at the ending of the One Nil Show. So if you did, make sure to subscribe, stick around. It all appreciates, helps the channel out. It takes 2 seconds of your time. Cristiano Ronaldo, how happy are we to see him in the Red Devils colours? I'll catch you next week for another One Nil Show. Deuces.